Whatever a rapper's reason to put on for their city, pride, civic responsibility, trolling for a fan base, the way a Braves cap looks perfect on tilt, nearly everyone does. Rap is filled with references to the blocks, neighborhoods, and cities that helped raise rappers. So much so that you might sit back and listen to an album like The Chronic and imagine you're riding down Slauson Avenue. Or you might bump Illmatic and feel like you can practically touch the concrete of the Queensbridge projects. Over time, rappers' hometowns become a part of their narrative. Sometimes their sound even becomes associated with the region. But here's the thing. Not every rapper was actually born in the cities, towns, or boroughs they rep. That doesn't mean they're faking the funk. It just means they were born and lived their early life in places other than what they talk about in their songs. If you don't know, now you know. Here are 20 rappers who aren't from where you think they're from. Nelly was born in Austin because that's where his father was serving in the military. He also lived in Spain for a few years when his father was stationed there. Eventually, his parents divorced when he was 7 years old and he moved to St. Louis around the same time. When he blew up, he really put St. Louis hip-hop on the map. Plus, the first song off his debut album, Country Grammar, was titled St. Louis. Gucci was born in the small town of Bessemer before moving to Atlanta in the 4th grade. Still, in the past few years, he has become one of the premier acts coming out of Atlanta. After being born in Illinois, Ludacris didn't move to Atlanta until he was in his high school years. Ironically, 2 of his songs are Welcome to Atlanta and Southern Hospitality. Like many people on this list, Wiz's father was serving in the military, which is why he was born in Minot. He went on to live in Germany, the United Kingdom, and Japan before moving to Pittsburgh. Despite one of their best songs being titled Virginia, both of the Thornton brothers were born in the Bronx. Their family relocated when Pusha was about 2 and Malice was 7. If you are enjoying this content, please remember to subscribe. Thanks. Kurupt certainly didn't help ease East Coast-West Coast tensions when he and the Dog Pound dropped New York, New York. Ironically, Kurupt actually hailed from Philadelphia and didn't move to California until he was 16. However, he didn't forget his roots. His album Corruption featured an East Coast side and a West Coast side. Despite giving Staten Island a great nickname, Shaolin, many of the members of the clan aren't originally from Staten Island, but instead hail from Brooklyn, or in Dec's case, the Bronx. After being born in Madison, Ali spent his early years moving from city to city in the Midwest before his family settled in Minneapolis when he was about 15. After being born in Houston to missionary parents, MGK lived all over the world, including in Egypt and Germany, as well as Chicago, Los Angeles, Denver. In fact, after living in Egypt as a young child, he learned to speak Arabic before he learned English. He eventually settled in Cleveland when he was 15. He affirmed his love for the rock and roll capital of the world when he dropped his viral hit, Cleveland. Devin the Dude didn't move to Texas until he was in the 4th grade, and even then he moved back and forth between New Boston and Houston before finally settling in Houston after finishing high school. Subscribe now so you don't miss any content. After being born in Detroit, Exhibit was raised by his mother after his father left his family. But his mother passed away when he was only 9 years old. At about the age of 10, he moved to Albuquerque, New Mexico to live with his father. But by age 17, he moved to LA to live with his sister. People tend to associate Prodigy with QB because of Mobb Deep's music and the fact that Havoc is actually from there, but P is originally from Hempstead. As a baby, Gunplay moved from El Paso but not to Miami. Instead, he went to the Bronx and spent his early childhood there before eventually moving to Miami. French Montana emigrated to the United States with his mother and brother when he was about 12 or 13. DOC actually spent most of his life and early career in Dallas. He didn't even move to LA until his Phyla Fresh crew broke up and he got down with NWA. But because of his affiliation with the group, he's often seen as one of the best West Coast spitters ever. If you are enjoying this content, please remember to subscribe. Thanks. Despite being known for songs like California Love and To Live and Die in LA, and being a part of the infamous East Coast-West Coast rivalry, Pac was born in New York and lived in Baltimore for a stretch. He didn't move to California until he was a teenager. Not only was Waka born in Queens, but his family was well connected in the New York rap scene with his uncle A&ing one of LL Cool J's albums. However, he moved to Atlanta at the age of 9. Despite being born in the Bronx, Jones was always drawn to Harlem and would take the train from 176th Street and Jerome Avenue down to 110th Street and Lexington Avenue. He would later move into the Taft Projects in Harlem. Big Boy was born and raised in Savannah. Big Boy didn't move to Atlanta until he was in high school. That's when he ended up meeting Andre 3000 and forming Outkast. The duo would go on to title their second album A.T. Leans. After being born in St. Joseph, Eminem and his mother moved between various cities in Missouri before eventually moving to Warren, Michigan. M didn't move to Detroit until he was about 12. Thanks for watching. See you next time.